I'm excited about this one, guys. I am pretty sure a lot of you are going to buy this guitar. A PRS for $499? I don't know. Hope it's good. So my friend Gene at PRS said, hey Benny, do you want us to send you a new PRS SE? It's gonna be $499. I know what my thing is. And one of my favorite things is a Paul Reed Smith. Now, when I think of Paul Reed Smith, and I know when many of you out there think of Paul Reed Smith, you think of expensive and opulent and top of the line. The biggest complaint about Paul Reed Smith is that they are so nice and so meticulous that they have no soul. They all sound the same. They're all just perfect. You know, I've been hearing on the internet is that these Paul Reed Smith SEs aren't real Paul Reed Smiths, because when people think of Paul Reed Smiths, they think of the elitist. Try finding a custom 24 hardtail that's not a private stock. And some people might think that a Paul Reed Smith made by Cortec overseas is diluting a brand. It cost so much to make a guitar that's all handmade in the United States of America. I've seen the people at the Paul Reed Smith factory. They seem really nice unless they have Stockholm Syndrome and they're like, I love it here at Paul Reed Smith. It's the greatest. My 401k is hot. Is he coming? I remember talking to my buddy Dusty Waring, you know, from Between the Buried and Me. Has his own model, the Dusty Waring model. And he told me that at one point he talked about, for one of the models he had, matching the headstock to the body color. It was gonna be $100 more to the bottom line. And Paul had said something to the effect of, for every 15 minutes of labor added on to anything, add $100 to the guitar. Now think about that. I can't even change my E string in 15 minutes. Go online, watch the crazy people at Paul Reed Smith make a guitar. That's why a brand new 10 top 594 costs $5,500. Those people all have health care, man. They're in good working conditions. They have experience. They actually love what they do and they work with the best of the best. They're consistent because they have a bunch of meticulous, very empowered, loving artisans that put all of their time and energy into these guitars. So part of me understands that if you get this overseas something for $499, what's in this case, that you might snub your nose to it. But the fact is, this is the reason that Paul Reed Smith can keep making expensive guitars, because he sells tons of these by comparison. Charlie, we made a deal that if I took you out and played with you that you would stop with the barking. You promised me. Wolfie's not barking. Doesn't matter how many times the delivery guy comes, Charlie's gonna bark for a long time. Which is why sometimes I just need to mellow out with some delicious, scrumptious Canada Dry. I'm a firm believer of if a guitar plays well and it sounds good and it inspires you to play, mission accomplished. Is a Cortec overseas made Paul Reed Smith the same as the United States? Absolutely not. And if you go back and watch my review about the PRS Silver Sky, I absolutely love this guitar for $899, $679. So the idea that what's in here is $499 is crazy to me. Not because you can't find other entry-level price guitars from other companies, but the fact that Paul Reed Smith is such a high-level guitar company to have something in such an affordable range. By comparison to, let's say, buying the Swamp Ash Special for $879. You could buy this guitar and an awesome starter amp, cables, strings, still for less money. That is a price point where almost anybody that has any remote seriousness about playing could get in. It's nice to know for $500 what comes in here. It comes in a gig bag. Ah, it was fast, right? the $499 Paul Reed Smith CE24 Satin SE. It comes in, I believe it's like charcoal, this turquoise color, and then there's a sunburst. I asked for the turquoise because I love my greens and my blues. I absolutely love the satin finish on this. All of the grain on this solid mahogany tone machine. You have the infamous and absolutely amazing, in my opinion, PRS tremolo. Two 5815 pickups, which I've reviewed before. We're going to talk about it. You got the 24 fret rosewood fretboard with what appears to be a quarter-lick bird. So, you know, for the Swamp Ash Special, they put actual abalone, but you got a quarter-lick birds. I love the fact that they blacked out the face of this guitar with the CE on the truss rod cover. Got the metal tuners, not to be confused with plastic. This SE scarf joint thing going on. I love it. It feels real good. It's kind of cool because you can already on the back here see some battle scars. I have some right here. It's a simple, no bones about it guitar. People say that wood doesn't matter. You can put the same pickups on a piece of acrylic and a barn door and glass. And as long as it's a super distortion from DiMarzio, it's gonna sound the same. All right, man. I've had enough guitars to know that sometimes pickups in one guitar sound terrible and awesome in another guitar. And I'm not saying I thought the 5815S's sounded terrible in my Swamp Ash Special. They just weren't up to par by comparison to my $2,500 CE24 and my 1986 Custom 24. But this guitar just absolutely blew my freaking mind. It's such a simple guitar, but it sounded so good. For $499, that is a guitar that if you want to rock and roll, you'll do that paper route. You'll ride that bike in the rain. You could get this guitar. But is it awesome? I thought that maybe I would plug this thing in and see how it sounds through my PV6505 Plus. I love keeping it simple. Down, middle, up. And if you want to get saucy, pull it out. It's interesting because when I first got the Swamp Ash Special, I liked the pickups a lot. They are the 5815S's. But after a little bit, I realized, and especially after doing a shootout, I wasn't a huge fan of them. They kind of like, they lost their glow. And then I got this guitar and it just sounds excellent. And I keep going back and forth like, does the guitar sound different? Are the pickups different? Am I crazy? Well, I know I'm crazy, but am I crazy about this? Am I hearing something? And I like the fact that when you actually split the pickup, it sounds split, you know? these must be wired in a way where when you have them in the middle, they reverse the hum. It becomes like a humbucker. That's interesting. Noise, split. No noise. Noise. It's not a $5,500 PRS 594. It's not a $4,500 custom 24. It's a $499 PRS CE24 SE, made of mahogany. It plays great, it feels great, and I am sure that there are going to be a bunch of people that are going to be buying these because this is a PRS. Almost anybody can get in it. I have not found a single thing that I can say is better than this for $499. PRS, you just took the spot of best entry-level guitar that I've played ever in my entire freaking life. Good job, Paul. Good job. Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?